6:45. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news edited by Danushka Madhavala and read by Sound Nithavam. The police and the health authorities request the public not to organise parties and ceremonies to mark the new year. The government has made arrangements to bring the development drive forward in the coming year. Egyptian President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi has extended his heartfelt best wishes and greetings to President Gotabaya Rajapaksa. The Public Security Minister said focus would be placed on using modern technology to monitor criminals as done in foreign countries. Steps have been taken to strengthen the bilateral relations between Afghanistan and Sri Lanka. The printing of driving licenses will be handed over to the Sri Lanka Army Signal Corps from tomorrow. In news overseas, France mobilizes 100,000 policemen to stop New Year's Eve gatherings. In sports, Lewis Hamilton knighted as Rob Barrow becomes MBE. The police and the health authorities request the public not to organise parties and ceremonies to mark the new year. Police media spokesman DIG Ajit Rohana says that police officers in civil attire will be deployed to monitor the situation in the country. He added that operations to nab the people who violate the quarantine curfew is continuing further. Minister Anura Priyadarshana says that the government has made arrangements to bring the development drive forward in the coming year. Gama Samaga Pilisandarak is one of the key programs of it. Many development projects are scheduled under this program to develop many villages in the country. Reaffirming the cordial relationship that has always existed between Egypt and Sri Lanka, Egyptian President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi has extended his heartfelt best wishes and greetings to President Gotabaya Rajapaksa and the people of Sri Lanka for 2021. In his New Year message, Egyptian President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi said that as we bid farewell to this year and welcome with optimism and hope the new year 2021, it gives him pleasure to extend his wishes to the Sri Lankan president and the people of the country. Egypt was the first Arab and African country to establish diplomatic relations with Sri Lanka in 1957, and currently bilateral relations are experiencing a surge across many fields as both countries are cooperating and working together to overcome the diverse challenges presented by the COVID-19 pandemic. Even during these difficult times, bilateral trade has gained momentum, while the two countries are pursuing enhanced cooperation on several other fronts. Egyptia, the national flag carrier of Egypt, commenced direct cargo flights between Cairo and Colombo from October 2020, while the inauguration of direct passenger flights between the two countries is also in the pipeline. Building on these strong foundations of mutual cooperation, the new year is expected to herald greater opportunities for the enhancement of amicable relations between the countries and the peoples. Public Security Minister Rear Admiral Dr. Sarath Veerasekara said focus would be placed on using modern technology to monitor criminals as done in foreign countries. He said that due to laws that are unsuitable for today's society, criminals creep through loopholes of the law and engage in criminal activities. Addressing a meeting with police officers, Minister Veerasekara said, like in foreign countries, the focus should be on ways of monitoring these criminals using modern technology. The minister said that through the use of modern technology, crime prevention could be carried out effectively and advised the police to focus on using the internet and GPS technology for crime prevention and monitoring of criminals. In preparation for the upcoming tourism resurgence, the minister looked into the infrastructure facilities available to the police, and in order to make their duties easier, the minister issued instructions to establish office facilities using containers at 26 identified locations. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The printing of driving licenses will be handed over to the Sri Lanka Army Signal Corps from tomorrow. State Minister of Vehicle Regulation, Bus Transport Services and Train Compartments and Motor Car Industry, Dilum Amunugama, said that the tender for the printing of driving licenses has been given to a private company by the Department of the Commissioner of Motor Traffic, and that the relevant work had been carried out under the same company by extending the agreement year after year. The State Minister further stated that although tenders should be called again for the printing of driving licenses after the expiry of the tender period, it would be an offence to allow the same company to print driving licenses by extending the contract. He made this statement addressing a media briefing held in Kandy yesterday. Sri Lanka's COVID-19 numbers saw another surge yesterday as 639 persons were tested positive for the virus. As per statistics, the total number of COVID-19 infections confirmed in the country to date now stands at 42,702. Recoveries from the virus, meanwhile, climbed to 34,623 earlier yesterday as 698 more patients regained health. However, 7,884 active cases are still under medical care at selected hospitals and treatment centres located across the island. Sri Lanka has also witnessed 199 deaths related to COVID-19. The head of the Presidential Task Force on Poverty Alleviation and Economic Revival, Basil Rajapaksa, says a systematic program will be implemented to educate the new entrepreneurs on technology and other production methods, with the sole objective of creating new industries at the rural level. Mr. Rajapaksa made these comments at a meeting with the Science and Innovative Skill Development Officers held at Temple Trees recently. The meeting focused on the future projects of state ministries of furniture, bronze products, clay and wood furniture appliances, and education research and new innovations and rural industries development sectors. The discussion focused attention on producing projects to be implemented based on the fund allocation of the 2021 budget. The meeting also focused on the technical education and training facilities for entrepreneurs. That's local news.
A mother knows the pain of each member of the family. Siddhalepa, the trusted relief for aches and pains.
An effective therapy for relief from cold, sneezing, flu, headaches, swelling due to toothaches, rheumatic, discomforts, and muscular aches and pains. Siddhalepa, the Vidamahatmya in every home.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
The Afghan Foreign Affairs Minister Mohammad Hanif Atmar described Afghanistan and Sri Lanka's relations as solid, based on friendship and mutual respect. He thanked Sri Lanka for its diplomatic support and continued cooperation to further strengthen ties between the two countries. He was speaking during a meeting with Sri Lanka's new ambassador to Afghanistan, Admiral retired Piyal Harischandra de Silva, at the Storai Palace recently. Atmar also wished the Sri Lankan ambassador success in his mission and called for enhanced cooperation between Kabul and Colombo. Referring to the excellent and friendly relations between Afghanistan and Sri Lanka, Admiral de Silva presented a copy of his credentials to Foreign Minister Atmar. He assured the Afghan Foreign Minister of continuing efforts to strengthen and expand relations between Kabul and Colombo. That was the main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya. Brush your teeth twice a day for healthy teeth and gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, your trusted brands in oral care for many years.
Supiriviki Ayurvedic toothpaste for adults. Kakulu Ayurvedic toothpaste for kids. 9 Ayurvedic ingredients of Supiriviki will protect your teeth and strengthen your gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, products from Siddhalepa.
In Watchlight, the Transport Ministry said 300 buses taken out of service by the Sri Lanka Transport Board will be repaired and put back into operation from tomorrow. State Transport Minister Dilum Amunugama said the 300 buses that were repaired will be added to the fleet again tomorrow and that there will be 2 double-decker buses as well. He said this will address the demand for buses on rural roads across the country, and that came to you in Watchlight. On to a bulletin of world news in the headlines. France mobilizes 100,000 police to stop New Year's Eve gatherings. Brexit, MPs overwhelmingly back pro-Brexit deal with EU. And Boeing 737 MAX returns to the skies in the US. France is to mobilize 100,000 police and gendarmes on New Year's Eve to crack down on parties and enforce a curfew imposed to combat the coronavirus. The plan also aims to prevent urban unrest, which has seen large numbers of vehicles set alight in previous years. Interior Minister Gerald Damanam has ordered a visible security presence in city centres and flashpoint suburbs from 2000 hours when the curfew begins. In Paris, half of the metro lines will be closed in the evening. Mr. Damanam has also asked for a wider public transport shutdown across the country to be considered. MPs have overwhelmingly approved the UK's post-Brexit trade deal with the EU in a parliamentary vote. A bill bringing the deal into UK law was backed by the Commons by 521 to 73 votes after Parliament was recalled. The majority of Labour MPs voted for the agreement after leader Sir Keir Starmer said a thin deal was better than no deal. The UK will sever its ties with the EU at 2300 hours GMT today, 4.5 years after the Brexit referendum. The House of Lords also passed the bill, which will now receive royal assent. Boeing 737 MAX has resumed passenger flights to the US with an American Airlines flight between Miami and New York. Regulators grounded the plane in March 2019 following 2 separate deadly crashes within 5 months. The Federal Aviation Administration lifted the ban last month after Boeing agreed to new safeguards. American Airlines flight on Tuesday showed its confidence in the safety of the 737 MAX. American Airlines currently has 31 737 MAX aircraft, including 7 which were delivered after the FAA lifted its safety ban in November. The airline and aerospace giant Boeing have both sought to reassure the public over the plane's safety, although polls suggest that might be difficult. To conclude this bulletin of world news, the headlines once again. France mobilizes 100,000 police to stop New Year's Eve gatherings. Brexit, MPs overwhelmingly back post-Brexit deal with the EU. And Boeing 737 MAX returns to the skies in the US. That's world news. On to development news. Lanka Satosa Limited, the country's largest retail network business, registered a profit of around 100 million rupees for the month of October 2020. Speaking about this outstanding achievement, Lanka Satosa Limited chairman Dr. Nushad M. Pereira noted that the retailer organisation had managed to grow its revenue during a challenging year while continuing to offer the lowest prices to consumers. Pereira said that this was made possible by the visionary leadership of Lanka Satosa's board of directors and the commitment and relentless efforts of the extended team who worked tirelessly to boost operating efficiencies, streamline logistics, and ensure product availability despite the challenges brought about by the global pandemic. That's development news, and taking a look at sports. Formula One world champion Lewis Hamilton has been knighted in the Queen's New Year honours list. The Briton, 35, sealed a 7th driver's title at the Turkish Grand Prix in November, equalling Michael Schumacher's championship's record. Rugby league legend Rob Barrow is made an MBE for services to rugby and his awareness campaign since being diagnosed with motor neuron disease. British Billie Jean King Cup captain Anne Kettenberg has also become an MBE. The former British number 137 represented Great Britain in the event previously known as the Fed Cup before becoming captain in 2016. Others made an MBE include former Tottenham and Chelsea striker Jimmy Greaves and ex-Wolves midfielder Ron Flowers, both World Cup winners with England in 1966. That's sports news, and we look at business news. The gem and jewellery industry will muster $5 billion export revenue by 2025. The director of the Sri Lanka Gem and Jewellery Association, Tilak Nanayakara, said that there was a need for a gem tower in Colombo similar to the one that is being constructed in Ratnapura, efficient courier services to benefit the traders and buyers, as well as developing an online licensing method. Speaking as the key persons forum for the industry hosted by the SLGJA, he highlighted avenues in which the industry has made progress over the years while bringing to attention the areas that need development. That's business news, economic news up next.
Economic news, courtesy of...
Hello, Puta, did you land already?
We're in transit and our flight got delayed.
How is Shani? Poor thing with her pregnancy.
Calm down, everything is sorted. Why, I have my LOLC World Card with me. We are at the VIP lounge.
LOLC Finance Credit Cards. Fuel the goodness in you.
Company estate reforms, tea estate-related crops, tea factory modernisation and tea export promotion State Minister Kanaka Herath says that steps have been taken to manufacture rubber motor accessories locally with Sri Lankan latex. Accordingly, the State Minister instructed officials to list out the rubber motor items which can be manufactured locally in order to train local producers to manufacture those items. Almost all rubber motor accessories are imported, even though most of them can be manufactured locally. It has been identified that there are around 600 rubber items used in a motor car, and most can be produced locally using available technology. That's economic news.
Congratulations on your promotion. When will be our treat, huh?
How about today?
Oh no, I was just joking.
It's fine. I have my LOLC credit card with me. Let's go out today.
Introducing LOLC Finance Credit Cards. Fuel the goodness in you.
Moving on to the weather report. To conclude, showers will occur at times in the northern, eastern, north central, central and Uva provinces and in the Hambantota district. Fairly heavy showers above 50 millimeters can be expected at some places in the Uva province and in the Polonnaruwa, Matale and Nuwara Elia districts. Showers or thundershowers will occur at several places elsewhere after 1 p.m. Heavy showers about 100 millimeters can be expected at some places in the western and Sambragamo provinces and in the Gaul and Matara districts. To conclude this bulletin of news, a recap of the headlines. The police and the health authorities request the public not to organize parties and ceremonies to mark the new year. The government has made arrangements to bring the development drive forward in the coming year. Egyptian President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi has extended his heartfelt best wishes and greetings to President Gotabaya Rajapaksa. The Public Security Minister said focus would be placed on using modern technology to monitor criminals as done in foreign countries. Steps have been taken to strengthen the bilateral relations between Afghanistan and Sri Lanka. The printing of driving licenses will be handed over to the Sri Lanka Army Signal Corps from tomorrow. In foreign news, France mobilizes 100,000 policemen to stop New Year's Eve gatherings. And in sports, Lewis Hamilton knighted as Rob Barrow becomes MBE.